Stanford University.
The base case goes something like, we announced a strong dollar strategy, but in fact we have a weak dollar strategy, that we're dependent upon the Chinese and others for monetizing our debt for the next 10, 20 years. We have these ever-increasing debt solutions, and we have these ever-increasing entitlement programs, which our government is happy to continue to make bigger and bigger and bigger because of the way of our political system. Then what's a way out of that path? The only one that I can see is the rebuilding of a manufacturing industry in the United States. Right. And it goes something like this. I don't think the service economy in the US will be strong enough to do it, having to do with the way services are delivered. But because of the strength of the American university system, as evidenced by everybody here, especially here at Stanford, it is possible for America to become sort of a little bit more like Germany, a leader in advanced manufacturing of very sophisticated manufactured goods that are not high volume compared to what is done in the high volume factories in China. So if you imagine a dichotomy where China builds the things which are very low cost, very high manufactured, very much the same, and American ingenuity creates whole new businesses. There's an obvious one in nanotechnology. John is an expert here on some of the things going on at Stanford, which are phenomenal in their impact, in energy, in biotech, and so forth and so on. They will begin to create the jobs that are high paying, that will pay the taxes, that will help solve the problem you're in. I don't see another way to do it. We need another bubble in America that's not a short-term bubble, but a long one, an investment, a cycle where everybody's just incredibly excited about building these new industries.
The potential of the synergies between Canada, the US, and Mexico have been way underexploited. No? And I think that we have, you know, as a bloc, we can really compete and create jobs and become much more efficient. I mean, each one has comparative advantages, but together I think we'll be a lot stronger.
My issue here, and I want to be very clear, is I think there will be a recovery in the United States. The question is, how do we get the kind of jobs that are growing jobs? You know, and you talked earlier about this issue of college versus non-college. There's a whole generation of people who benefited from the bubble that we just went through, this credit-induced bubble, who might not have jobs in the future because they don't have the right skills. We need to address this as a society.
My biggest fear is that the growth in entitlement spending and the inability to tame the debt will mean that this small sliver of discretionary spending where we invest in research, we invest in education in this country, will get squeezed out and we'll have eaten our own seed corn, and then we'll really be in for a crisis. We will not be able to get the kind of economic growth that can support the kind of jobs we want to have in this country.
I think that's exactly right. The evidence is that US growth is increasingly dependent on innovation. In fact, you could say that really the only thing that we're good at anymore is innovation. We're much better than the rest of the world at innovation, maybe not much else. But that means that we should have lots of innovative manufacturing, innovative service industries, innovative all kinds of things. But then John's point becomes especially clear, that we can't create innovation without creating the highly educated people who create the innovations, and we need the seed money to do that.
I've got 2 points here. One,
well, it goes back to a public policy question too, because it's all really tied together. When we started off with immigration, right, and our issues about keeping our brightest people here in the United States so that we can innovate, so that we can do manufacturing, that we also, our relationships around the world need to be strong. We need to manage our relationship with China because we do have a codependency. And they're very clear about the codependency. The Chinese are, you know, they understand our need for their capital, but they want us to become, they actually want us to become a manufacturing and exporting nation because that's good for them as well.
For more, please visit us at stanford.edu.